Andre Perry, our guest tonight from the Brookings Institution, joining us from Washington, D.C. Andre, once again, thank you for spending the past hour with us. As we wrap up, I want to continue to talk about how we move forward and really level the playing field for everybody, for Black business owners especially, and just make this a success for all.
Yeah, if we really want to increase the percentage of Black businesses, we need to do a few things, and I'll rattle some off. First, and this might sound counterintuitive, but we have to increase the home ownership. Most people start their businesses using the equity in their homes. And so when home ownership is waning, businesses will. So we have to do everything to increase the amount of home ownership in Nashville. We also need to make sure Black-owned employer or increase the percentage of Black-owned employer firms, firms with more than one an employee in high-growth industries. It's not enough to scale up sort of barber shops and consumer-facing or neighborhood-facing businesses. We also need businesses that are technology firms, utility companies, larger health firms. When we invest and scale those businesses up, you'll have a multiplying effect that will help all businesses overall.
Just one thing came to mind that I wanted to ask you about. Our city has just made a huge deal. In fact, it's Tennessee's biggest economic deal with the tech giant Oracle. And when this was announced coming to the east bank of the Cumberland River right here in Nashville, a lot of people in the community said, hey, no one's talked to us about how this is going to look and work. Should part of that deal not only be including the community on what happens with the actual landscape of where this company is going to go, but how that company looks employee-wise?
Well, let's be clear. Let's look at other cities. When Google landed in Pittsburgh, there were lots of promises of job increases among Native folks, and it just didn't pan out. In fact, we saw some wage suppression for working-class jobs as a result. And so, it could spell disaster for a lot of local communities, and that's why we need to make sure we invest in homegrown businesses as well. That there's always this belief that you have to import businesses to get economic activity. No, you can invest in the people there, and it leads me to we need to make place-based investments. We need to revitalize our communities, and one of the ways to do that is to make sure in our procurement processes that we are making sure Black businesses qualify for government contracts, particularly in infrastructure, and so people can actually participate in their own recovery. But those are just a few things that we really need to do in order to increase the percentage of Black businesses in our communities.
Andre, I so appreciate your time tonight and you spending the last hour with us and just giving us all the knowledge you have from your research on this topic and personal experience on this topic as well.
Well, hey, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure. I'm hoping one day I can sit in the studio with you.
Wouldn't that be nice?
And have this. Yeah, absolutely.
You are welcome to Nashville anytime.
Okay, good. Very good.
Andre, you take care. Thank you very much again. And when we come back, I will let you know what we have on tap. Well, gosh, it's already Thursday, so maybe next week. Stay with us.